Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown was taped tonight, and this was the go-home show for Crown Jewel, which is tomorrow, which I won't be watching. I'll be at work. But there's literally no hype going into Crown Jewel. I'm like, who cares about Crown Jewel? Who does? Get me to Survivor Series. That's what I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to Survivor Series in a few weeks. But SmackDown tonight, not a bad show, but it was just filler, in my opinion. It was a filler show to get us to Crown Jewel tomorrow. But tonight on SmackDown, we had Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. We had Shotzi and Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. We had a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. The Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland, took on Pretty Deadly, or Pretty Awful. And the main event, we had Bianca Belair versus Bayley. But overall, not a bad show for SmackDown tonight. But like I said, it was just filler, in my opinion. If you didn't watch tonight, you missed nothing. But if you guys haven't checked out my previous videos that I did, Monday Night Raw review is up from this past Monday. I did a AEW Dynamite watch along, if you guys haven't seen it. So I did that. Didn't do a review of it. But just check out those videos if you guys haven't seen them. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with LA Knight. So he came out, of course, big ovation from the crowd. Fans were chanting LA Knight. He got on the mic, he kept telling the crowd, "Let me talk to you." He kept saying nearly 1,200 days. That's impressive. But what's more impressive is how quickly 1,200 days can come to an end. Of course, mention about Roman Reigns. He kept saying last week, Roman tried to spear him, but the tribal chief got hit with a blunt force trauma, the BFT. Knight ended up saying that tomorrow at Crown Jewel, it goes no different. He kept saying this is a hostile takeover, and that he is coming to take over everything that Roman stands for, everything he thinks he has owned for the last 3 years. Knight ended up saying that the undisputed WWE Universal Championship will be with him, and it will be the end of Roman's reign. So out came Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, came out along with Paul Heyman. So we had both men standing in the ring. Of course, fans chanting LA Knight. Roman got on the mic. He kept saying that typically he would tell this irrelevant town to acknowledge him, but they know who he is. He kept saying that LA Knight doesn't seem to understand, and he will introduce himself. Roman then introduced Knight as the tribal chief, the head of the table, and the face of WWE. Roman ended up telling Knight that a lot has changed. So he ended up saying that he takes his time of leave, and someone steps up. But it was LA Knight. So Roman ended up managing his time wisely, and that Knight has everyone on his side. So Roman ended up giving Knight credit for that. Roman ended up telling the crowd to chant Knight's name, because that is the last night that this will happen. Roman ended up saying that he turned this business into a multi-billion-dollar industry. So he ended up asking what Knight has done. And what he has done is cosplay a redneck version of his cousin. He ended up saying that's done. This is his reality, his island of relevancy. Roman ended up saying that he's going to end LA Knight and they are going to leave him in the desert, but he won't be the last one. So LA Knight ended up telling Roman that he must feel unbeatable and that he beat everyone, but he is not coming at Roman for the same angle as everyone else. Knight ended up saying that he is not here to finish something and that he is here to start something. He ended up saying that he is here to start the LA Knight era. He ended up saying that he will cosplay as the guy who will kick his ass at Crown Jewel, and he won't cosplay. He will live. So Knight ended up telling Roman that he made himself a megastar because of the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, whereas he lives as a megastar every day. Knight ended up telling Roman that if he does not put an end to him, he will come back and take the title from him. He kept saying the only bloodline he will see will be the one off his forehead as he hears new WWE champion, LA Knight. So officials then got into the ring. Knight and Roman had a confrontation. So officials got in there, broke up the confrontation between both Knight and Roman. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But, we all know that LA Knight is not going to win tomorrow. Roman Reigns, of course, is going to retain. I don't even think Knight even knows what he was saying. He's saying this, but he knows that he's going to lose tomorrow. But overall, it was a decent segment to open SmackDown. And then we had Kayla Braxton. Kayla Braxton was backstage with Austin Theory. So Theory ended up telling Kayla Braxton that last week, Kevin Owens ended up saying that he has a face you can punch. But that's not true. Theory ended up saying that he has a face that should be on billboards everywhere. Theory ended up saying that Owens' face is probably a face that only a mother can love. So that was what Theory said to Kayla Braxton there. And then we had the first match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory, which was a decent match here. Grayson Waller was on commentary during the match. So the match got underway. Owens ended up going after Theory. Theory ran to the outside. Theory ended up pushing Owens into the ring apron, and Theory made his way back into the ring. Theory then delivered a right hand to Owens. He ended up getting Owens in the corner. Theory was going for a punch to Owens, but Owens blocked it. Owens then ended up hitting Theory with a right hand. Owens then delivered an atomic drop, which was followed by a clothesline to Theory, to which he clotheslined Theory to the outside. Owens then delivered a clothesline on the outside to Theory, and then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Austin Theory was in control of the match. He ended up going for the A-Town down, but Kevin Owens ended up landing on his feet. Owens ended up going for the stunner, but Theory ended up delivering a left hand to Owens. Theory then delivered a blockbuster. He ended up going for the cover, and Owens kicked out. Theory then stomped on Owens in the corner. He placed him on the top rope. Theory ended up going for a suplex, but Owens reversed that, and Owens ended up delivering a suplex of his own off the top rope to Theory. Owens then threw Theory to the ropes, and he ended up pinning Theory with a pop-up powerbomb. Kevin Owens then ended up staring at Grayson Waller, and Owens then ended up hitting Theory with the stunner. Owens went for the cover, and there you go. Kevin Owens ended up winning the match. Overall, match was decent, and Owens and Theory, worked, pretty decently here. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Bianca Belair. Kathy Kelly ended up asking Bianca Belair about her match against Bayley later on in the night. Bianca ended up telling Kathy Kelly that she has a lot of history with Bayley. And as talented as she is, Bianca ended up saying that Bayley is doing too much. Bianca ended up saying now it's personal and that she wants revenge. So Bianca then ended up getting attacked by Bayley and Io Sky. And we had officials and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis end up there to break up the brawl between Bianca and Damage Control, Bayley and Io. Dakota Kai was there, but she was just off to the side. So pretty much that was that. And as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Logan Paul. He was shown walking backstage. And he saw the Street Profits. So the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, both of them shook hands with Logan Paul. And Montez Ford ended up telling Logan Paul that it's about time someone humbled Rey Mysterio. So Logan Paul walked away. Bobby Lashley ended up telling the Street Profits, this is what success looks like. To which in came B-Fab. B-Fab ended up telling the Street Profits they're up with new suits and new Rolexes. B-Fab ended up asking Bobby Lashley if she can speak with him, to which Bobby Lashley ended up agreeing. So that was that. But is B-Fab going to be in this new group with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits? I think she will be, even though it should be Bianca Belair, but WWE doesn't even want to turn Bianca Belair heel when, in my opinion, Bianca is getting very stale as a babyface. She needs a heel turn. And then we have Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Shotzi and Charlotte Flair. This match was terrible. Awful. Match started with Piper Niven and Shotzi started off the match. Piper Niven ended up delivering a right hand to Shotzi. She slammed Shotzi down to the mat. Piper Niven ended up going for the cover, but Shotzi ended up kicking out. Chelsea Green ended up tagging in, and her and Piper Niven ended up double teaming on Shotzi. Chelsea ended up going for the cover. Shotzi kicked out. Piper Niven then tagged in, and of course, again, double team. They tried to double team Shotzi, but Shotzi ended up hitting Chelsea with a right hand, and Shotzi delivered a kick to the side of Piper Niven's head. So Shotzi tagged in Charlotte. Charlotte delivered a crossbody onto both Piper Niven and Chelsea Green off the top rope. Charlotte ended up chopping both Chelsea and Piper Niven. She ended up suplexing Chelsea. Charlotte was on the ring apron as Piper Niven ended up running toward her, but Charlotte delivered a boot to Piper Niven's face. Charlotte ended up getting back in the ring, and Chelsea Green ended up taking in. Charlotte Flair ended up hitting Piper Niven with a big boot. Chelsea Green ended up running off the top rope, but Charlotte moved out of the way, and Charlotte delivered a big boot to Chelsea Green. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Shotzi and Charlotte Flair ended up winning the match. Who cares? Match was terrible. And as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa made his way down to the ring along with Paul Heyman. Solo Sikoa ended up standing silently as Paul Heyman got on the mic. He ended up saying that he is wondering how many people realize that this is what they call the end of days for the doctor of thugonomics, John Cena. He ended up saying that it's not the way he wanted it to be, and this was not his fault, and to not blame the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Cena comes back to WWE and he picks a fight with the Bloodline. He ended up saying, what did he think the Bloodline was going to do? He ended up saying that Roman makes the calls, and Roman turns to the enforcer, the assassin, to Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Sikoa has a huge future in WWE, and not just as an enforcer, but one day he will take over as the tribal chief. And right now, it's about Cena. He ended up saying that Cena could have made it easy. So Solo ended up grabbing the mic from Paul Heyman. Solo Sikoa ended up asking Paul Heyman why he is wasting his time talking to the people. He ended up saying that they did not come here to talk to them. They came here to talk to John Cena face to face. So John Cena's music ended up hitting. He got a big ovation from the crowd, of course. Cena got into the ring. Both him and Solo Sikoa were face to face. Sikoa ended up telling Cena that he has orders from the tribal chief, and those orders were to give Cena his mic. That way, he can say goodbye to the fans while he still can. So Sikoa ended up giving Cena the mic. Cena got on the mic. He had a raspy voice. He ended up asking Solo Sikoa if he realizes who he is in the ring with. He ended up saying they've been waiting for Sikoa to talk for over a year, and that's all he brings to the table. Cena ended up saying that he can do this with half a voice, and it will only take him 9 seconds to cook him. He ended up saying that he will say goodbye, but not to them. He will say goodbye for them. Cena ended up saying that the only reason Sikoa has a job is because of his cousin, and we all see him walking around, thinking he is an enforcer. When Cena ended up saying that Solo Sikoa is nothing but a bargain basement Taz ripoff, which that, made me laugh. So Cena ended up telling Sikoa to tape his thumb up very tight, because the only place it is getting stuck at Crown Jewel is up his ass. Cena ended up saying that's about 90 seconds. He ended up dropping the mic, and he left the ring. And that was basically that. But the matchup for tomorrow, I think Solo Sikoa is going to win the match, in my opinion. I see, Sikoa, pinning John Cena. But overall, thought it was an okay segment here. And then we went backstage, and we saw Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. They were celebrating after, Bayley and Io Sky ended up attacking Bianca earlier. Bayley ended up saying maybe tonight it will be herself against Io for the Women's Championship. Bayley ended up saying that it's a joke. And so in came Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis ended up telling Bayley that he has to ensure the WWE Universe gets what they paid for. He ended up saying that Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky are banned from ringside during her match with Bianca Belair later on. So Io ended up telling Bayley, you got this. So pretty much that was that. So Bayley and Bianca Belair went one-on-one, and Dakota Kai and Io Sky were not even out there. And then we had a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. The Brawling Brutes, Rich Holland and Butch versus Pretty Deadly, Pretty Awful, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. And this was a decent match here. Though not a fan, of course, of Pretty Deadly. I think their gimmick is awful. So as Pretty Deadly made their entrance, they were attacked by Rich Holland and Butch on the ramp. And we had the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Rich Holland, end up throwing Pretty Deadly in the ring. And the bell ended up ringing. The match got underway. Butch and Rich Holland end up hitting Pretty Deadly with the 10 beats of the bottom. Rich Holland ended up placing Elton Prince in the Tree of Woe. Him and Butch end up double teaming on Elton Prince. In came Kit Wilson, and we had the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Rich Holland end up double teaming on Kit Wilson as well. So Butch ended up delivering a knee to the face onto Elton Prince, who is on the outside. So Butch ended up grabbing Prince, but Prince ended up slamming Butch face first onto a bar that was placed at ringside. Ridge Holland then delivered a shoulder tackle onto Elton Prince on the outside. Kit Wilson ended up pushing Ridge Holland into the ring post, and Pretty Deadly ended up throwing Ridge Holland back into the ring, and they double teamed on Ridge Holland. So we had Pretty Deadly end up grabbing a pair of shillelaghs, and they both ended up trying to hit Ridge Holland with the shillelagh, but Ridge Holland ended up blocking Pretty Deadly. He lifted Pretty Deadly up and threw them to the outside. Butch climbed to the top rope, and he ended up landing a moonsault and landed on Ridge Holland and Pretty Deadly on the outside. And so SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Ridge Holland locked in a Boston Crab onto Kit Wilson in the middle of the ring. So Butch delivered an ankle lock on Prince, but Prince ended up kicking Butch away. Prince then ended up grabbing a bar stool, ended up hitting Ridge Holland across the back with the bar stool. Pretty Deadly ended up double teaming on Ridge Holland, and he ended up going for a cover, but Butch broke up the pin. Butch delivered some chops to the chest onto Kit Wilson. So Prince ended up hitting Butch from behind. Ridge Holland ended up grabbing Prince and then landed a gorilla press. Ridge Holland then grabbed Wilson, but Wilson landed on his feet. Wilson then ended up hitting Ridge Holland with a knee to his face. Butch then delivered a kick onto Prince. Wilson delivered a clothesline onto Butch, and all guys, were down. All four men were down. So at the end of the match, Prince ended up hitting Butch with a beer bottle from behind. The beer bottle, broke, glass all over. So Pretty Deadly ended up slamming Butch through the table. Wilson ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Pretty Deadly ended up winning the match. So I'm like, we're getting this awful tag team a push. We're getting them over. But overall, decent match it was. And then we had Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was walking backstage, and he was approached by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman ended up asking Aldis if he can offer him words of wisdom. Nick Aldis ended up telling Paul Heyman it's not like he has a choice. So Paul Heyman ended up telling him if he would have a lot of medical personnel at Crown Jewel, because he will need it. He ended up saying that this is the most savage version of Roman Reigns that anyone will ever see. Nick Aldis then ended up asking Heyman, are you done? And Paul Heyman ended up telling him with LA Knight, hardly. So that was that. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had a weigh-in between Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Nick Aldis was joined by officials. He introduced both Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Of course, the scale was between both Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Logan Paul was the first to step onto the scale. Logan Paul weighed in at 213 pounds. Rey Mysterio then ended up stepping on the scale, and Rey Mysterio weighed in at 175 pounds. So both Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio faced off. Logan Paul ended up tapping Rey on his head. Rey then told Logan Paul that he just has one thing to say. Rey then ended up slamming Logan Paul in the face. Logan Paul then knocked out an official, and Rey ended up hitting Logan Paul in the face with a mic, and that was basically that. I don't care about this match with Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. I don't. There's no hype for it. Main event. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. This was a good main event here between these two. Of course, Bianca Belair and Bayley had their history. So the match got underway. Bayley delivered some right hands onto Bianca. She ended up throwing Bianca to the turnbuckle. She ended up going for a spear to Bianca, but Bianca moved out of the way. Bianca then threw Bayley into the turnbuckle. Bianca then ended up delivering a snap suplex to Bayley, which was followed up by a vertical suplex. Bianca then ended up going up to the top, and she delivered a moonsault onto Bayley. Bianca then went for the cover. Bayley ended up kicking out. Bianca then ended up grabbing Bayley, but Bayley landed on her feet, and she ended up rolling to the outside. Bianca then chased Bayley around the ring. Bayley got back into the ring, and as Bianca was about to get into the ring, Bayley ended up going for an elbow to her, but Bianca ended up moving out of the way. Bianca then got into the ring. She ended up hitting Bayley with a body slam. So Bianca then ended up throwing Bayley onto the ring apron, but Bayley ended up handing Bianca up on the second rope. Bayley then delivered a knee to Bianca's face, and Bianca then ended up falling to the outside. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Bayley was in control of the match. She had pinned Bianca with an elbow drop on the outside of the ring. She had thrown Bianca back into the ring. She had going for the cover. Bianca kicked out. Bayley then locked in a chin lock, but Bianca ended up grabbing Bayley by her arm, and she ended up slamming Bayley. Bianca then delivered a backbreaker onto Bayley, and then she ended up delivering a shoulder tackle, which was followed by a drop kick to Bayley. Bianca then delivered some right hands in the corner. Bayley ended up sliding under Bianca. She ended up dropping Bianca face first onto the turnbuckle. Bayley then ended up running to the ropes, but Bianca then slammed Bayley onto the mat. Bianca ended up going for the cover, but Bayley ended up kicking out. So later on, we had Bayley end up rolling to the outside. She ended up clearing off the commentary table. Bayley ended up getting Bianca on the ring apron, and Bayley ended up going for a powerbomb, but Bianca ended up getting out of that. Bianca then placed Bayley on the ring apron. Bayley ran towards Bianca. Bianca moved out of the way, and Bayley ended up hitting the ring post face first. So Bianca ended up throwing Bayley back into the ring, and she ended up going for the KOD, but Bayley landed on her feet. Bayley then rolled Bianca up, and then Bianca kicked out. Bayley then ran the ropes, and Bianca ended up hitting Bayley with her ponytail. You know, you had that whip, of the ponytail. And then Bianca then ended up hitting Bayley with the KOD. Bianca ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Bianca Belair ended up winning the match. Post-match, Bayley rolled to the outside of the ring, and then Bianca ended up hitting Bayley with the KOD onto the commentary table. The commentary table ended up breaking, and then SmackDown went off the air like that. After Bayley went through the commentary table, when Bianca ended up hitting her with the KOD, it just went off like that, quick. But overall, good match this was between Bianca Belair and Bayley. Overall, not a bad SmackDown it was. I mean, it was a filler show to get us to Crown Jewel tomorrow, but not bad of a show. But I want to go over my predictions for Crown Jewel. We're going to have a match on the pre-show, which is going to be Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. I think JD McDonough is going to win the match because probably going to have help from the Judgment Day. He's probably going to have help from Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. So I think JD McDonough is going to win on the pre-show. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. This could be, a good match here. Seth Rollins, I think, is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. They are slowly turning Drew McIntyre heel. So they're slowly building towards that. So we're going to get McIntyre as a heel soon. So I'm going with Seth Rollins to retain. The Fatal 5-Way match for the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez. Smiley Raquel! Rhea Ripley is going to retain. Rhea Ripley is not losing the Women's World Championship anytime soon. And I think she's going to, win the match. So Rhea Ripley is retaining. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Obviously, Roman Reigns is retaining. LA Knight is losing, of course. So don't get hyped there. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship. You know, as much as I want Rey Mysterio to retain the United States Championship, I have a feeling that WWE is going to put the United States Championship on Logan Paul. So, sadly, I'm going to have to go with Logan Paul winning the United States Championship. I have a sense that WWE is going to put the title on him. So, going to have to go with Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Obviously, in my opinion, I think Cody Rhodes is going to win it. I think he's going to go over Damian Priest. They're not going to let Cody, lose. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. I think Solo Sikoa is going over John Cena. Solo Sikoa is going to win the match. And then the Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. I think Io Sky is going to retain the Women's Championship. So, those are my predictions for Crown Jewel tomorrow. There's no hype going into the show. It's going to be your typical Saudi Arabia house show. So, but all I'm looking forward to is getting to Survivor Series. That's the only thing I'm looking for. Let's get through Crown Jewel and start the hype for Survivor Series. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all later.